Alright guys, this is a very sad case of Christian Choate, a 13-year-old boy that was severely abused by his dad and his stepmother. It's a cold case, but it details CPS neglect, if you ask me, to actually protect children. So let's go over it. Christian Choate wrote letters detailing abuse, mistreatment before his death. Christian Choate wanted to die. The 13-year-old boy, whose body Lake County Police unearthed last month from a shallow grave in Gary, wrote letters before his death detailing how he was being mistreated, how he just wanted to be liked by his family, and how he wanted to die. Christian died in early 2009 of blunt force trauma injuries and a skull fracture, according to the Lake County Coroner's Office. The boy's father and stepmother, Riley Choate and Kimberly Kubina Choate, face myriad of charges relating to Christian's death, including murder, felony counts of battery, confinement, and removing a body from a death scene or altering a death scene, 3 felony counts of obstruction of justice, and 3 felony counts of neglect of a dependent. Late criminal court records show. An Indiana Department of Child Services records released Friday revealed a history of abuse and neglect by adults who were supposed to be protecting Christian. The boy's short life was marked by allegations of family members physically and sexually abusing him and other underage relatives, DCS records show. DCS officials investigated 8 allegations of physical and sexual abuse, molestation, and educational and medical neglect in various homes that Choate family members lived in before Christian's death, records show. Some of these allegations were made before Christian was born, or before he lived in the home. Riley Choate was accused of abusing Christian in August 2004, a year before Riley Choate was given custody of Christian and his sister Christina, DCS records state. Investigators could not substantiate the abuse allegations, but DCS officials did determine in August 2004 that Riley Choate physically abused his wife's nieces who were living with them. Riley Choate was cited for inappropriate discipline and bruises on the 2 girls, DCS records state. As a result, Kimberly Kubina Choate's nieces were placed in foster care for more than 3 months. They returned to the Choates home in December 2004. 3 months. That's it. My Lord. In August 2005, Lake Juvenile Court officials also granted Riley Choate custody of Christian and Christina children he had with Amy Eriks Estrada. Eriks Estrada lost custody of Christian and Christina amid accusations that either she or her live-in boyfriend were molesting Christian and 2 other children. DCS officials substantiated neglect and lack of supervision against Eriks Estrada. They substantiated abuse against her live-in boyfriend, but he never was criminally charged. The Times is not naming him because he was not charged. It is unclear from DCS records why Riley Choate, a convicted felon and known abuser, was given custody of Christina and Christian, instead of placing the children with another relative or in foster care. Lakeville Court Judge Mary Beth Bonaventura could not be reached Friday afternoon for comment. DCS records show her court granted Riley Choate custody, and Eric Estrada was allowed supervised visits with the children. DCS spokeswoman Ann Houseworth said that the state agency does not get involved in custody battles, but could be called to offer recommendations. She could not say whether DCS investigators were asked to offer recommendations in the case. Allegations of misdeeds by Riley Choate and Kimberly Kubina Choate continued after the couple secured custody of Christian and Christina, DCS records show. In 2007, DCS officials were called to the Choates family home to investigate claims that there were 10 children living with them and that the home was dirty. The investigators cited one adult, a relative of Kumbina, I don't know how to say that, Choate, for medical neglect, but did not substantiate any of the other allegations. In 2008, DCS officials met with the family again while it was living in a mobile home park in Gary. Officials were asked to investigate allegations that at least 10 children were living in the home, one of whom was under what the family called house arrest for molesting another child. The allegations were unsubstantiated. After Christian's body was discovered in May, family members told investigators Christian had molested one of his younger relatives. Records show none of the family members reported the allegation while Christian was alive, DCS records show. In March 2008, Christian told his pediatrician he was locked up at night. Medical records show the doctor never reported it to DCS, according to the agency. The doctor declined comment Friday when contacted at home. The doctor no longer works for the Highland Medical Practice, where medical records indicate Christian was a patient. The last contact DCS officials had with Christian was in 2008, the summer before he is believed to have died. Investigators could not substantiate the allegations made against the family. Seems like a pattern. Letters Christian wrote while locked in a cage detailed the mistreatment DCS investigators could not find. The boy's letters, which DCS investigators read after his death, paint a disturbing picture of what the boy's life was like before his death in 2009. Christian's writing detailed a very sad, depressed child who often wondered when anyone was going to come check on him and give him food or liquid, DCS records state. Court records, allege the boy was beaten for several years and kept in a cage for as long as a year before his death in early 2009. His disappearance went unreported until May, when a tip prompted police to investigate. In court records released Friday, Christian wrote of how often he had to steal food or use bathroom in his place of confinement. He said he would be let out to clean or vacuum, but had to go back inside immediately afterwards, DCS records state. He wrote about other children playing outside while he was confined inside. If he asked for something to do, he was given paper and a pencil, DCS records state. Some of Christian's writings were random, while others appeared to be assignments from stepmother Kimberly Choate. Kimberly Choate wrote topics on top of the pages, including, "Why do you want to play with your Peter? Why do you still want to see your mom? Why can't you let the past go? What does it mean to be part of a family?" DCS record state. Sorry guys, hard one. State and local investigators now are trying to determine if and how the system failed to save him. Fucking it did. Sorry for that, but yes it did. It failed him so hard. DCS spokeswoman Ann Houseworth said that the state agency followed all Indiana state laws and DCS policies and procedures in investigating the many allegations against Christian's family. With regard to this case, DCS did everything it legally could to ensure the well-being of these children at the time of our interactions with the family, she said. Houseworth said investigators will continue to try to identify opportunities to improve the processes. They already have determined one area that can be proved, she said. She said DCS workers began training in 2007 on a procedure through which families can bring extended family members, friends, and neighbors together to work on issues that brought DCS into their lives. Houseworth said DCS likely will identify other improvements as it continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding Christian's death. There he is, the poor little boy, locked up. Yeah, that was hard for me, guys. Sorry about that. Riley Choate admits to horrific acts and death of 13-year-old son. Riley Choate showed no emotion Friday as he pleaded guilty to multiple charges relating to the neglect and death of his 13-year-old son. Authorities unearthed Christian Choates' severely malnourished body in May 2011 from a shallow grave in Gary Mobile Home Park. On Friday, Riley Choate, 40, pleaded guilty in Lake Criminal Court to felony neglect of a dependent relating to his mistreatment of Christian, neglect of a dependent for depriving his daughter of an education, and removal of a body from a death scene or altering a death scene for burying Christian after his death. Riley Choate also admitted being a habitual offender because of 2 previous felony auto theft convictions. Guilty, he said in a calm voice, when Lake Criminal Court Judge Diane Boswell asked him how he pleaded. Riley Choate's fiancée, Penny Murray, was not so calm. So, how in the world did he go from a wife to a fiancé while being arrested for killing his son? Can somebody help me with that? That's really bothering me right now. Was not so calm. She ran out of the courtroom sobbing when the first charge was read out loud, but later returned for the rest of the proceedings. I am proud of him, she said softly after the hearing. I'm very proud of him. She's disgusting. Riley Choate faces an agreed term of 80 years in prison when he is sentenced January 11th. Riley Choate admitted in court documents he started beating and punishing Christian after discovering the boy told a sibling he had to play the hump game in order to be brothers. Court records state. Riley Choate also admitted he and then wife Kimberly kept Christian in a dog cage in their bedroom, and he admitted to watching his son become visibly malnourished but doing nothing to seek medical attention, according to the plea agreement. Christian was fed 1 packet of ramen noodles for breakfast, 1 packet for lunch, and leftovers from the family dinner. Court records state he wore size 6 clothing as a 13-year-old. a size usually observed for someone weighing 42 to 46 pounds. Christian also wore diapers that originally had been purchased for the youngest child in the home. Riley Choate beat Christian, causing bruises, swelling, and an altered state of mental state. Court records state. On April 2, 2009, Christian died from a combination of physical trauma, poor health, and malnourishment by Riley Choate and Kubina. I don't know how to say that correctly. I apologize. According to the plea agreement, Kimberly placed Christian's body in a plastic tote and stored it in her grandmother's house across the street. When Riley Choate got home from work, he and Kimberly buried Christian's body under the floor of the grandma's shed, a court record state. In return for Riley Choate's guilty plea, Lake County prosecutors agreed to dismiss the other criminal charges pending against him, including murder, battery, criminal confinement, and obstruction of justice. Kimberly pleaded guilty to neglect earlier this year. She faces 25 to 35 years in prison. State record state. Oh my God. This one killed me. Killed me today. Really killed me.